Jules, we're not done. We have more quick hits.
Yes, Gab.
It was a wild one in the Principality, but Paris Saint-Germain overcome Monaco 4-2 with 2 late goals. Thank you, Gonzalo Ramos. Obrigado. Jules, tell me my boy Gigi Donnarumma is going to be okay after nearly being decapitated.
Yeah, let's start there because this was one of the image of the night. If you haven't seen it, go and check it out. Incredible after just 17 minutes. Singo, the Monaco right back, is going through on goal and Donnarumma comes out. And I think Singo tries to chip the ball over Donnarumma and continues his effort with his foot, basically. The chip doesn't really work because the ball doesn't actually
Maybe you
leave
should
the
leave
ground.
the chips to the attacking players.
I know, but I guess in that position, that's the right thing to do, to be fair to him. But then his leg, his foot, with the studs, his boot, just continues the movement, really, of the chip. So imagine his leg is going up as Donnarumma is coming out to block the shot. And the boot and the studs end up on Donnarumma's face, really hurting him. I mean, his face now is just like really, really swollen up and tumefied. No yellow card, no red card. This is how we roll in France. Why not? You almost took his head off. But
Do you think it was a foul?
Yeah, it was not given even as a foul. So no.
That's what I mean. It wasn't even given as a foul.
No, the referee just said that it was non-intentional.
It was a coming together?
Not coming together, but the word is, I can't remember the exact word.
Incidental contact?
Something like that. Basically saying like it was just his movement for the shot. And then after that, what else did you want him to do? Which is true. It doesn't look like Singo. There's nothing else he can do, I guess, but it's 100%. He was only on a yellow, by the way. So it was at least a second yellow, maybe even straight red. Donnarumma had to come off. He's okay, but had to come off. And then we had a great game of football, really. PSG outstanding, I thought, for most of it. Monaco came back really well in that start of the second half. Went from 1 down to 2-1 up at home. And then PSG turned things around again. And Dembele, Doué, Fabian Ruiz, they were all very good. And it was an outstanding game, really.
And Gonzalo Ramos off the bench. And obviously,
third game in a row where he scores.
But what struck me was even in injury time at 3-2, right? Before, because Dembele scored the 4th. Great goal, by the way. It was on the counters, garbage time, 90 minutes.
Yeah.
But they had a huge chance before that at 3-2. Monaco in injury time.
Yeah, Akliush serving Minamino literally on a plate and he can't saw his feet out. No, it was a really good game from start to finish.
And it's amazing that Monaco's crazy, loud, raucous home support didn't see them over the crowd.
12,000 fans, which is a lot in the winter in Monaco, trust me. Marcus Rashford tells Henry Winter that he's ready for a new challenge. He was left out of the squad at the weekend and he's out of the squad again for the League Cup game against Spurs on Thursday night, so tonight. What sort of challenge do you think he's thinking about? And what was the response from Ruben Amorim?
So Ruben Amorim says, gee, I wish he'd told me this first before telling Henry Winter. It's sad because Marcus Rashford is being really, really badly advised. Now, I get it. You want to play more, you want to experience more, whatever, you want to go. This is not the way to do it, to come out, I want a new challenge after you've been dropped for the Manchester Derby at the weekend. Again, I don't understand what you're trying to do. Surely you must realize that you have 3 years left on your contract, that you are vastly overpaid relative to what you've been contributing of late, to the fact that you make so much money that the only teams that could afford to pay these kinds of wages are teams who are not going to sign you because they have better players than you. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. With all due respect, am I going to take Vini or Marcus Rashford? Am I going to take Mbappe or Marcus Rashford? Am I going to take Lamine Yamal? Not that they could afford him. Or Marcus Rashford. So why are you doing this? You are stuck here for another 3 years. The only way you move is if you take a massive pay cut.
Yeah, probably.
And then come out and say that. No, seriously. No, have the stones to come out and say that.
Yeah.
I just think this makes him, and we know he's a really, really good person, but he is being really, really badly advised here.
Yeah, I agree.
Back to that Paris Saint-Germain game. Randall Colomwani was left out of the matchday squad, and has started 2 league games this season, Jules. So that's 2 more league games than you have for Paris Saint-Germain.
Exactly.
Speculation continues to mount.
Yeah, I think he will leave in January. Initially, I don't think he wanted to leave. He wanted to try and prove to Luis Enrique what he could do. He's obviously a Paris born and bred kid, so it meant a lot, I think, for him to wear that shirt and play at the Parc des Princes. it's just not working out. Luis Enrique doesn't like him. I think we can say now he doesn't like him, doesn't fancy him as a player, doesn't think he's good enough to play in his team and in his system. So what do you do then?
You go to Arsenal on loan. It's a short Eurostar ride from Paris, since he's Paris-born and bred.
Yes, that's right.
There's other players there who speak French. I'm sure Leandro Trossard speaks French.
And Saliba.
Maybe
and Gabriel.
Saliba too. Jorginho, definitely. And you can be Havertz's backup. You can get a lot of playing time playing on the wing, especially he can play on the left side, right?
Yeah, he can play
where,
everywhere.
frankly, both Martinelli and Trossard have been laying eggs all season.
Yeah.
And if you like it, maybe you work something out.
Yeah,
Have I solved it?
Yeah, but I think a club like Monaco, I don't think Arsenal will go for Colomani, but I think
they should on loan.
In Germany, I think Monaco, who really need a striker.
Because Balogun's out for a long time.
Months. Yeah. And Bolo is not, I know he scored last night, but he's not really the most efficient either. So we'll have to see, but this can't continue for Colomani, otherwise it will put in danger even his place in the national team. So he has to do something.
I think the only times he's played 90 minutes this year have been for France.
Yeah, and for France, it's been amazing. I think he scored 6 goals in 10 in 2024, something crazy like that. Sandro Tonali scores twice as Newcastle beat Brentford 3-1 to advance to the League Cup semi-final. Gabby needed this.
Yeah, I mean, up to the year out, then he comes back. He's up and down. Let's face it, he's not great. He's not a goal scorer, but he can score goals. That second goal especially, I thought very well taken.
Yeah.
And look, for Newcastle, the League Cup is their European football. I mean, you saw it in the lineups we saw last night.
Very
Arsenal and Liverpool putting out a B team, and Newcastle putting out what I think pretty darn close to the best 11. Arne Slot, speaking of, is true to his word. He rests a bunch of players and still wins away at Southampton 2-1. Jules, I was excited to see Harvey Elliott score.
I thought of you when I saw him scoring. Lovely goal as well, by the way. He had a great game. I thought about you about Wataru Endo, who played in this kind of false centre-back, kind of hybrid midfielder.
False centre-back because he's little and he's not a centre-back.
Exactly,
That's
position. But he was great. He was great on the ball. Okay, Southampton are really a dire team without a manager even. So this was pretty straightforward for Liverpool. Darwin Núñez also scored, which is great for his confidence. Jota came on. So I think it was apart from maybe the goal they conceded, it's a lovely goal by Arsenal.
Glad you got to see Tyler Morton after having Scousers tell us how great he was.
Too. So I think a great night overall from a Liverpool point
maybe not for Jurel Kwanzaa, but
I still think that it was good for everyone. This was back on Monday night, Gab. Inter recorded an emphatic win, beating Lazio 6-0 in Rome. As the bubble burst for Marco Baroni?
He took responsibility afterwards. I think Inter ran up the score. These things that don't normally happen.
7 shot on target.
I think it was like five of them in the second half, something like that. Yeah. The game changed with the penalty. I thought it was, I think it was a right call, but I think it was certainly a controversial call. And then after that, the floodgates open and you're lost. You try to get back into it. I think Maroni's doing a phenomenal team. Lazio reinvent themselves with cheaper, better players, or players who can perform as well as the big names that they lost. And I think that's important. But I think Inter are next level up from them.
Yeah, they are.
Jules, everybody says they're relaxed about it, but multiple outlets report there is a serious risk that Barcelona might not be able to register Dani Olmo for the second half of the season, and that there's a clause whereby if he's not registered, he can cancel his contract and leave as a free agent.
But we knew that we would get there in December, January, obviously, because already back in the summer when they signed him for 60 million, it took them a long time to register him. The only way they managed to do it was this loophole that because Christensen had a long injury, you could kind of use his wages to register somebody else on your wage bill, which was already a bit dodgy. And now we are back.
It's not dodgy. The rules allow it.
Yeah, but it's still a bit weird that you use the salary space from somebody in your salary cap. But anyway, so we're back there. Anyway, I don't know. I know there's a few levers again or similar to levers they can use to register him, but that's not the way it should be anyway.
To be fair to Barcelona, and I do want to be fair to Barcelona here, part of the problem is, remember when they sold Barca Studios?
I know.
The guys, and again, they should have been smarter. Who am I selling to? The jokers who bought 50% of it, he didn't pay. So there's a hole in their finances.
True, which is true.
There is another option. Board members can put up personal guarantees.
But surely that's not the right way of doing it.
that's happened before.
Yeah, I know, but that's strange. Atalanta keep rolling along. They destroyed Cesena in the Coppa Italia 6-1.
Yeah, I mean, this is all set up for Atalanta at home, Serie B side, not a particularly good Serie B side either. On the night,
strong team from Gasp as well.
And how about Zappa Costa showing that, like I famously once said, who needs Diego Costa when you've got Zappa Costa? And how about the Prince, Charles de Ketelaere? Is he left-footed? Is he right-footed? Does it matter? No, because you're striking the ball.
Yeah.
He oozes class. Look, they're in a really good position. They want to win this too. We'll see how things progress. Curious to see what they do in January.